And we're live.
Yay.
Hello, and welcome to Productivity and Procrastination. It's me, Joseph, with a Z. And that's James
Me.
with a Z.
With a, yeah. I was going to say with a Y, but cool.
Yeah, we all wonder why. James.
Ah. Well,
You might notice that this episode is coming out almost 24 hours late.
mm,
Maybe asking yourself, Joe, what the fuck? And the answer is
or you just wonder why.
no, these people are ravenous for our content. Ravenous. Like vultures upon a carcass. A delicious carcass.
Oh. Yeah, we've been pretty good with our track record.
I know. It was my fault. I had the audacity to get a 24-hour flu that ruined my weekend. I spent all of Sunday in bed. No, all of Monday in bed. Because I was just couldn't. I slept. Because I spent the night before just not keeping food down. And it was rough and terrible. It was like every hour and a half I would wake up and just, it was the worst. Just the worst. But I feel great now. Much better.
It's good.
Yeah. Well, James, how's your week been?
I had a pretty good week. I mean, I still didn't play any video games. So it's been a full solid month of that. I have gotten into a nice routine with eating, except for today because I had the day off. So I ate however I wanted. But my normal routine now is to eat like at 10, 11 o'clock p.m. only. And then go to bed. And
There's nothing like a sleep after a full tummy.
that's actually pretty nice because
Oh, it's so
I will
nice.
I'll wake up and then I'll have coffee, with just a little bit of creamer, not much, and then I'll have nothing but water till about 5 p.m. and then I'll have some tea, straight tea, no creamer, no nothing. If I add anything, it'll be just a little bit of milk, maybe, just enough to change the
A
color a little
dash.
bit. Yeah, just a dash of milk or something. Like the British would do it.
Like just add a mustache of milk to your.
And then I'll eat it 10:30, 11:30, something like that, and go to bed again. Been doing that for a while. I've lost a decent amount of weight doing it, and I really don't get hungry during the day now at all.
That's
Even
awesome.
it's been really nice, and I feel good. Um, the first few days were kind of rough.
Yeah.
My body was like, what but then the last few days has been great. So that's been good. Sleep's been great lately. I ended up cleaning my computer room, which I haven't done in a long time. Nice, clean, everything. It's very good. Um,
Shameful.
I've been using some of my time to try to study Spanish. So,
Really?
yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
I know. And because we're speaking some Spanish earlier, and I
Yeah, as
didn't
soon as I
have
got in
any
the
real
call,
responses to much of that, but
I was just
there were
going
some word.
Spanish.
I threw some words out there. They were the first words I ever. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna try to learn another language. It's really been slow. I really stink at it. My memory is not great, but
I want to learn Japanese so badly.
nice. Yeah, so I've been doing that. I've been staying off of like YouTube and stuff too. I mean, there's still a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta put the kibosh on. Um, but it's been good. I haven't done a lot of writing yet. I thought I was gonna do a lot of writing today, but there's just a little bit of family stuff that we did instead. And I took a nap after I ate. So I almost feel like I've got to just keep that schedule because otherwise I'll waste 2 hours of my precious day off
Weekend, yeah,
sleeping. Um,
it's
but
rough.
it is rough. Um, but all in all, I do feel like um, I did pretty well. I feel I still haven't turned into the hyper productive version of myself yet, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to give myself a little bit of leeway for just the physical and environmental period a little bit, not to beat up myself so much for not. I did write a little bit during the week, but nothing like to my what I would consider my standards. So I'm not gonna toot my horn too much about the writing aspect. I just feel like I'm better in control now. Um, and what's funny is I haven't played a video game in a month, but I haven't almost even missed it. It's kind of weird. Uh, and I know, like when I was speaking to you on your birthday, that brought up like, for me, I feel like, and I didn't even realize it, but for me, I feel like I treat video games more like I would treat like drugs. And I've had a
Mm-hmm.
past, with drugs, and the thing about it is with me, I would just continue just all the time, and it was very similar with video games, it seems. And once I just got that out of my life a little bit, it I didn't even miss it. So, I mean, I will play with my family and probably with people,
Yeah,
again. It's not like I never will, but I definitely am categorizing them a little bit differently in my mind and not defining myself as much by them. And in doing so, I feel like it's freeing me up to define myself in different, more productive ways. So um, that's where I'm at this week, and I like it.
nice. Yeah, I sounds like you're on the right track. I'm excited for you to learn another language. That's always fun. So, back in the day, I learned the hiragana and the katakana, which are two of the three Japanese alphabets. The kanji is the third one with the hard one. But I learned the other two. And I started learning kanji, but it fizzled out because it's hard to learn a language by yourself. I think it's more fun to learn with somebody Because when I learned Spanish, the reason I loved Spanish so much and I learned so much Spanish in my Spanish class in high school, and probably the reason why I still remember it, is because I used it with somebody and we just told your mom jokes back and forth. So we'd be like, Tu madre es un gata. Your mom is a cat. But we'd use more crude things because we were high school students. Um, but it was fun. I think that's a big reason why I enjoyed that. Oh, so my week. I'm veering off now. My week. So I was gonna Pavlov myself this week, and so I went to McDonald's and I got myself a coffee. I sat down, did my drawing, and then it was nice. I enjoyed it. Here's the problem though. I didn't go anywhere other than to McDonald's to get that coffee. And then I got terribly, terribly ill the next night. So I reverse Pavloved myself.
I said it was worth it to do Uber Eats.
It was terrible. But no, I don't think I associate it. At least not on a carnal level. But it was a little funny to think about. We also got my car completely fixed up. I was able to, so I had my friend Duck put in the window. He was a hero with that. I was already tuckered out because I replaced the ignition cylinder. It wasn't just the cylinder though. I had to replace everything around it because I couldn't get the cylinder out. And I had to YouTube that first time being car boy. Did I already show you guys the cars? I probably already did. I want to keep bragging about it because it was a good job. But my car works, and I'm very happy about it. And I park it in a very different spot now. And it has not gotten broken into yet.
Well, that's good.
Tonight, if it gets broken into tonight, that means, it'll be on the 2nd-month anniversary of living here.
Well, something to celebrate then.
That'll be very celebratory. I have the insurance now though, so if it does get broken into, it's covered. Because I'm not going through that again.
Well, whenever we meet next, I have a cutoff for you to test your battery, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. Well, you've also been busy on getting up some items to sell.
Yeah, I took some of James's sage advice and decided to put some stuff up on Etsy. By stuff, I mean 2 items. And then with the help
So
of
it begins.
with the help of his wife, I fixed those 2 items tonight just before the call. But yeah, I've got a canvas of the first page of Pancake. I redid it. I actually had to sit down. That's what I did with my coffee. I sat down and I took out the rectangle and I actually went and redrew all of the garbage bags down in that corner where I didn't do the garbage bags because it was covered up by the thing. And I redid all those and recolored. I deleted all the shading and redid the shading on it because it wasn't to my standard. And now it exists as a purchasable thing. I bought the biggest copy of it. It was like $40 and plus shipping, which was like 20 some bucks. So it was like 60 something, but it's the largest version of it. And I have it being shipped to me as the
That's
sample.
awesome.
So if the sample
great.
doesn't look terrible, then maybe I'll probably just end up giving it to James because I don't have no use for it. I'm not going to hang my own art. It feels, at least not that specific one. There might
You
be
have a lot
pieces-
of wall space.
I do, but I'm also very picky.
Okay.
Because you had mentioned you'd want probably a copy of it too. So
Oh yeah, sure. I'll take it. Hey, if you're gonna buy it and you don't want it, sure, I'll take it.
but yeah, so that's the plan. It should be here eventually. But yeah, it feels nice to have something up. I'm like, broke the ice on it or whatever it is. Been drawing more, not as much as I want to be, but more. Um, it's been a good week for me, other than getting sick, but been a good week.
Yeah. Do you see anything you're gonna change? Anything
Yeah, I want to. So,
tweaks?
okay. This week, I'm going to make this a goal. I want to work at least 10 pages through this book. Write that down because that makes it real. Because I got 2 other books that I want to work through, but I have to make it through this one first. I want to also include Draw Daily. Today's Wednesday, my dudes.
Yes, forgot to take my garbage out.
So, again, sorry about this episode being late. It's not going to be a reoccurring thing. It's just sick.
Yeah, maybe we should be up on a week eventually.
I know.
Just in case.
Eventually, we'll have to get there. Like one of these days, we need to record one and then do a procrastination week where we just play video game, or like have a procrastination week. Like after we're done recording, we just play a game and record that, and then substitute that in for a week so that we have.
Here I was thinking about we would review a productivity person or something.
Oh gosh, that sounds much better than my idea. It's probably gonna be better for the audio listeners.
Mm.
But yeah, it's been a good week. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling more hopeful. I'm embracing the weird, which is a term I'm using to describe not being so self-conscious about everything and just being me.
Yeah, that's... I like that. Because that's kind of what I've been doing too lately. Well, it's kind of like what I've been doing ever since we started the podcast, though. It's kind of like, you know what, we talk about this type of thing, but why don't we just not care and just do it?
Mm-hmm.
You know? But you're right, it seems to be increasing since that beginning stage. And I'm definitely on your embrace the weird train.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, put everything aside and just let people measure you based on your personality rather than anything else. And just be you. Yeah. And it's, it's freeing, it feels like. I'm still growing, trying to become a better person, but I'm also just being okay with where I'm at and just being happy. And this might just be me healing or growing from we already cursed this episode, right? Yeah, we did. The shit show that was my life a couple years ago. So I'm in a much better place, and it feels good. And I've been cooking regular dinners, which has just been a thing since I've started living here, and man, I love it so much. I made this chicken and rice.
Remind me
thighs.
if you ever give me some, just to take some antibiotics afterwards, and then we'll be okay.
Oh my goodness. I follow a recipe. I follow a recipe. so I can't mess it up. But yeah, it was a good week, even though I got sick. I will continue to try to Pavlov myself because we're definitely not done with that. But I might be a little bit before I go back to that McDonald's again, just because
It was a drink. How could that possibly have been it?
it's the only time I left the house during that because it's a 24-hour flu, and I looked it up because it's a 24-hour flu. I heard about someone else who had it, and apparently that
Surprisingly,
affects
right
you.
when you need to get stuff done too.
Right. It's like 12
I
hours
hear
to 24
kids
hours.
get that on Friday, mysteriously all the time in school season. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I wish I would have rather sat down and drawed than dry heaved.
No, no, that's cool. Yeah, it's it's been good that you're continuing. I love the fact that you got up some products on the store that feels good, and I don't know if you're thinking of doing the physical thing in a couple months, but that's coming up.
Gosh, I need to. I was gonna work on with my
Did,
brother on getting some bead going, but he just started a job, so I don't know if that's gonna work out. So I'll have to either start painting a whole lot, which I have been getting an itch to actually paint. Like, oof, there's an itch there. And I
well, you got
assume I
plenty
can
of
do
space
prints.
now.
I know. I
You
need to
have
get a
like a
better
whole
easel.
painting area.
My easel sucks ass,
Mm,
but bet you I could find one online, like on eBay or something, for cheap.
yeah, probably.
Or maybe like
I
a
see. Yard sales got a lot of easels too.
yeah. Drop by a yard sale, and easel up.
Yeah.
I just need one. The $5 one I bought from. I'm assuming it was $5 because it's probably lasted 5 seconds. It probably lasts 5 seconds standing up.
Mm,
But I've got more paints than I can shake a stick at, so I'm excited about that.
nice.
So
Yeah, you should give it a go.
I should. Witch is still on the gum. I'm getting that one going. And then I do have an actual like physical painting that I want to work on. Like have it the vision. I'm getting better about having visions and translate them to the page. That's taking practice though. I'm thinking more analytically about it now.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's been a productive, positive week. Yeah, I don't have much other than that. I'm excited to see what comes out next week. So like I said, I'm gonna work through 10 pages to that book, and I'm going to make sure that I draw every day. I'm gonna make a conscious effort, not just write it down, but make a conscious effort to draw every week or every day. Which means after this, because it's like 9 o'clock at night, I'm gonna have to draw. I'm gonna have to draw because I want to make sure I can check off Wednesday.
I'm gonna be going on a drive with my parents tomorrow, Spokane.
Nice.
I'm gonna actually drive there tonight, spend the night over there, and then we're gonna drive. My dad's got a surgery or something in Spokane, and drive him to that, and then drive. It's gonna take most of the day to do all that. Um, so I don't know what I'm gonna get done tomorrow, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
at least spend some time with my parents, and I've I've not had a clear understanding of what I wanted to write lately.
What do
And
you think
every
that
time
is?
I don't think I've given enough thought about it. It's like every time I can write, I'm like, it's just like, what do I want to write? right in. So I haven't had a clear understanding of which thing I want to do damage in. So
Mm-hmm.
I need to actually figure that out. Maybe I'll figure that out today, so I don't have that, you know, blank stare look when I reach for my laptop this next week. I can just know what I want and go in. Um, but I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm kind of in a blank space, like a blank page kind of feeling right now. I've kind of reset myself a little bit. My sleeping is patterned now. I have a good understanding of all of that. My wife is almost to the point where she's going to be able to drive herself. She's going to, she's going to be able to get back into it. So I'm going to be. We've already been talking about doing more shoots.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter's, probably a little slowly working on my my art. Um, so that's kind of like waiting period. So now it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to work on a novel. So, you know, but everything like feels pretty good. I mean, yeah, I'm going to have a lot of yard work lately. So I'm going to have a lot of things I'm just going to have to do for the
Mm-hmm.
house this time of year, but I'm going to have extra time, and I want to make sure this empty, point that I feel uh, doesn't just take video games and plug them in and fill up all my time and I don't change anything. I really feel like this reset, which is kind of like probably what I'm getting at here. I feel like I've reset myself and now I can use that time to further myself. And I know I probably should take it a little slow. There's that tendency to want to just make decisions quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm probably going to take them more slowly because quickly is usually the bad decision for me. So,
Yeah. I mean, I can agree with that. At least recently, I had an issue with that. With like, not to bring it up again, but my car, where
mhm.
my first reaction was like, okay, I'll just go get a new one, right? But here's the problem: I ain't got no money for a new one. Like, I could theoretically afford it, but I would be scraping.
Yeah, and then if you get sick like for a week, I mean,
Yeah,
stress is now compounding into that.
yeah. Just wasn't worth it. So, and like so many times I was like, okay, I can't do it. I can't fix it. Cause like I was, there was a lot of me that was like a learned helplessness. I think as it comes to cars, where it's like I don't I don't know how to fix this. This cars are a thing that are just so complex that my tiny little human brain will never understand it. When I actually looked up the YouTube video on how to fix my thing, shoot, man, that was so easy. I would love to repair people's thing there for $200 a pop. I mean, the specific case where they're driving a 2000 Honda Civic four door. I would gladly, for $200 a pop, switch those out for them.
So you got your car working and you've leveled up your mechanical skills
Yeah,
and You don't have
Sense
to pay an
of
extra hundreds and hundreds a month.
yeah. Well, I did have to end up getting my brakes fixed. Oh, you were there for that. My brakes fixed and the other thing fixed for like 600, but it's better than paying for a brand new car, which would have been like $200 a month, probably minimum.
Yeah, and
So,
then you have to get the maximum insurance as well because you don't own the car.
yeah,
Good job.
yeah, yeah. And she drives like a beaut. But yeah, so like there was that initial gut reaction, I'll just get a new one. And then every time like something wouldn't work, we couldn't fix it, I'll just get a new one. And then because it kept happening, like it wouldn't work, we couldn't get the thing out, you know, and I had to order a different part, and then someone wasn't able to show up and get help me, and I was like, okay, every time this like there was a roadblock, I'd want to just take the easy route
Right.
because it's there's a
And
couple
because it's unknown too,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And it's like there's part of it's like also I I didn't like the feeling of relying on people and feeling like a burden to get to help me with this stuff. And so it's like if it was at all difficult, I'd be like, okay, we'll just drop it and I'll just go get a new one. So like there was a lot of things I couldn't afford it. So
There's a lot of parallels here between that and finishing a project and making your dream come true. You know, there's a lot of very similar things that we go through. The giving up every single time there's a problem.
mm-hmm.
Um, you know, wanting to take the easy, uh, kind of almost the route you understand versus the route that you don't understand. You know, when you're trying to make something new, there's so much uncharted territory for us that it's easy to just go, you know what, I'll just pay. I'll just deal with it, you know.
Right.
So the fact that you destroyed all those barriers and actually completed the task and have the rewards, you know, of you almost earned money doing it, you know,
Oh
if you
yeah.
think about it. So it's a lesson to all of us when it comes to how, you know, perseverance, you know, and everything that we've talked about throughout the whole year in the podcast, you know, just getting through these many small problems.
It
Good
was
job.
very liberating to I think break down the barrier of okay, well, if I can fix my car, what else can I fix? What like it's like you said, breaking down barrier like self erected barriers that like don't actually exist. They're just constructs that I put up to either protect my ego or try to separate me from something. I'm not sure, but it's nice to understand that they're not permanent. They're overcomable. They're not insurmountable problems that like I wasn't gonna go replace my master cylinder. First of all, I have no idea what that is. Second of all, I have no idea what that is. I probably should have Googled it first to see how hard it was to put in. But at that point, I was already writing my I replaced one part on my car high. So, you know, I'll pay the money. And I mean, messing with your brakes is scary because if I mess up, I could hurt someone. And that's not good.
Well, I'll say that you got your car working.
Mm-hmm.
You deserve to be able to pay some money to get somebody else to do your brakes. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
It's And I think I said this to you. Now it was worth it. Like you're gonna have a car.
Yeah.
Pay some money, get somebody else to do that rest of that. It's worth it now. Whereas before, if somebody said, "Oh, you need new brakes," and your ignition didn't work, or you're like, well, there's a lot of reasons not to do anything right now. Just buy a new vehicle. Um,
Yeah.
you made it through. Good job.
Yeah. It's a it was a very personal growth experience. As someone who's I would definitely consider myself an indoorsy person.
Me too.
It's it might not, to someone listening who's like comfortable around fixing cars and stuff. It might sound silly, but it makes me happy, and that's I'm flaunting my weird. I can be happy, and that's awesome. Now, how does that? So basically, I guess what you can take from that, what might be worth taking from that, and drawing some similarities, is try to evaluate what you're trying to do, and like what's too hard, but you haven't actually looked into how actually hard it is. Like you put these barriers ahead of yourself, because like if you would have told me, oh, you need to replace the housing for your freaking ignition cylinder a month ago, I'd be like, cool story, bro. I'm getting a new car. Um, but now I'm like, okay, give me like 30 minutes and a 10 millimeter ratchy boy, and I got it.
Nice.
For specifically 2000 Honda Civics. But yeah, it was good. So yeah, basically like examine your barriers, and are they self-made? Do you need to figure out how to get around them? Like look into them. Like don't just assume they are hard. Actually look into what they are, and actually examine them for what they are, not what they represent.
And I also think that the hardest thing for a lot of people to do is just ask for some help. Um,
Yeah, that was hard for me.
I think most of the time, if you're talking about people that are actually your friends, you know, most of the things you ask are not as big of a deal as you make them out to be in your head. And that's I have that same problem. But like, you know, like driving people to like a place and anything like that, that's you don't even have to wonder about things like that. That's just like whoop de doo. It's nothing. So you don't even have to worry about like
Yeah,
like oh, what do I do? Do I buy my meal or something? No, it's like, dude, they're not going to think anything of that. It's like
yeah,
just be with them and chill with them while it's happening, and that's
yeah.
good stuff. So I do the same things. I over evaluate, you know, my burdens, and maybe it could be just as simple as, hey man, can you drive me to a place, or hey, do you know anybody who might be able to fix
Mm-hmm.
this, or whatever. And maybe it can solve a lot of problems, but we're too afraid to ask sometimes.
Yeah, it's easier to go through like automated systems rather than like known systems rather than the hard way. Sometimes the hard way is better.
Yeah. And I mean, even though my guy wasn't able to do your ignition for whatever reasons,
Yeah,
um, you fixed it yourself, and you probably wouldn't have done that unless. that whole
No.
situation would have happened.
Nope, I wouldn't have. I I would have just, yeah.
Had a bill that would have caused you to be stressed out a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have a little bit of a distance between what we have to pay and, what we
Yeah.
make. You
Yeah.
know?
It's very close for me still, but it's not as close as it could be. Yeah.
Well, encouraging. And yeah, for everybody out there, this is much like finishing a dream. Little problems come up, and sometimes you don't understand them. Sometimes you don't know about them. And, one thing is to try to just figure out the information. Like, how hard is this? Do some Google searches, do
Mm-hmm.
some research before you define in your mind insurmountable
Yeah.
milestones.
I think you just found the title of the episode. Insurmountable Milestones. I like it. Alrighty. Well then, do you want to just call it here? And all right. Do you have any closing quips? Something quippy for the people?
Mucho gusto.
Yes.